All right, give me 5. This means I want 0 talking. Now, as a warm-up, we're going to do... Actually, we're not even going to do this problem. But I'm going to ask a lot of questions about this problem that you're going to be able to do in your head. Now, obviously, you can't do this problem in your head, or at least I couldn't. At least I couldn't. So we're not writing anything down. We don't have anything in our hand. We're putting down all our writing because we're not going to solve this problem. We're just going to talk about it a little bit. Okay, first let's look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. Think time, so no talking. Shh. Think time, so no talking. I want to know if this is an expression or an equation. Think time, no talking. All right, class, we're going to say together if it's an expression or an equation right now.
Expression!
What, Jamie, what makes it an expression and not an equation?
Because there's no equal sign.
Because there's no equal sign. Most excellent. Most excellent. So if I change it to this, that it becomes an equation. Equation, equal sign. Equation, equal sign. Very good. Now, if I wanted to write this out in words, or you were on the phone with Kay, and she said, hey, what was that problem? Like that Mr. McMurdo had up on the board that like I was supposed to solve. So in a moment, we're going to say this together in unison in words. Read this problem in words in a moment. So I want you to look at it. I want you to think about how you're going to say it. Now, when we say something in unison, we say it together. So when I tell you to go ahead and say in unison, we're not trying to race. One person's not trying to be the first to say it. Everybody's going to participate. So I know my pastor, he'll say, good morning, isn't it great to be here on a Sunday morning? And like 4 people will be like, amen. And you'll go, well, I'm glad 4 people are glad to be here today, so we're not going to do that. That's what Pastor Goins does. Cornerstone Baptist Church. So anyway, he does that every time. We're not going to do that. So when I ask you to read it and say it aloud, then that's what you're going to do, everybody participating. So on the count of 3, we're going to all participate and read this problem aloud. 1, 2, 3.
38 and 5/10 times 2400.
That was awesome. That was the best of the day, actually. What I was listening for is to make sure we didn't say point. Make sure we didn't say point. Now, in a multiplication problem, what would 38 and 5/10 be called? Cole?
30.
What's it called?
30 and 5.
No, that's how you read it. What is this part of a multiplication problem called, Cole? Mac, help him out.
It's called the factor.
Factor, good. So this multiplication problem has 2 factors. 38 and 5/10 is a factor. 2400ths is a factor. Okay, what's the answer to a multiplication problem called, Simone? Answer to a multiplication problem. Product. Very good. Product. Now let's ask this question. When I multiply, is my product... Now think. No answers until I ask someone. No answers. So think time, just in your head. Is my answer, is P going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 38 and 5/10? No answers. Just think for a moment. Is P going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 38 and 5/10? Now think this is a multiplication problem. This is a multiplication problem. Lila, what is your answer?
More than.
More than. Why?
Because it's being doubled up.
Okay. Brandon, you disagree? No, you agree?
Yeah, I was gonna say that you would ignore the decimal and you would just put it in place where they're supposed to be. Like the 24 would be under the 8 and the 5, and you would just multiply regularly.
Okay. Brayden,
Less than.
less than. Why?
Because the number is behind the decimal point.
Excellent. It is going to be less than. P is going to be less than 38 and 5/10 because if I multiplied 38 and 5/10 times 1, I would get, class,
38 and 5/10.
okay? Anytime you multiply something by 1, you're going to get that number. If I multiplied 38 and 5/10 times a number greater than 1, my answer is going to get bigger. So if I multiply by something greater than 1, my product gets larger. If I multiply by something less than 1, like 24 hundredths is less than 1, that's going to make this factor get smaller. It's going to make this factor get smaller. Okay? Let's talk about, here's my decimal point. Now think time, don't answer till I call on you. Looking at my decimal point, looking at my problem, my two factors. Now we're thinking, I'm going to ask somebody the number of digits that will be to the right of the decimal point in my product. So I want you to think the number of digits that will be to the right of the decimal point in my product. Brooklyn, how many digits will be to the right of the decimal point?
3.
Why?
Because there's 2 decimals behind the 24, and there's 1 decimal behind the other problem.
Good. There's 1 digit to the right of the decimal point in this factor, 2 digits to the right of the decimal point in this factor, which means our product has to have 1, 2, 3 digits behind the decimal point. Think time. Think time. What is the most number of digits I could have to the left of the decimal point? Think time. The most number of digits I could have to the left of the decimal point. Grayson. 2 is the most. Why do you say 2? 3 is the most. Why do you say 3? No, 3 digits not behind the decimal. Sean Bradley, do you agree? Do you agree that there could be 3 digits to the left of the decimal point? I'm trying to figure out what is the most number of digits that could be to the left of the decimal point. Jamie.
There's going to be 3 because when you multiply by 0, you're going to be adding 0 to the end of that number.
Okay, Brooklyn, you are having a fit or something over there. You disagree. Why?
I think it would be 3 because there's 2 in front of the decimal, 1 factor, and 1 in front of the other.
All right, mommy's favorite kid.
I think it's 2 because there's a 0 in front of the 24 points.
Okay, we're making this number, this factor, is getting smaller. So since 38 and 5/10 my answer, my product, is going to be smaller than 38 5/10, the most number of digits to the left of the decimal point is 2. It cannot, and I mean cannot, have more than 2 digits to the left of the decimal point. Because this one has 2 digits to the left of the decimal point, and we're making it smaller. See, because we're multiplying less than 1. We've already agreed that our product is going to be less than 38 5/10, because we're multiplying by a number less than 1. Multiplying by a number less than 1. See all this stuff we can think about without even solving this problem? There's a lot to think about without even solving this problem. All right, Miss Scott. Are you Miss Scott? Yes, then you. Miss Scott. Without writing anything down. First off, Miss Scott, what place value is this? 3 places to the right of the decimal point?
100.
No? Thousandths. Good. So my number is going to go all the way out to the thousandths place. We already decided that because we counted the number of digits to the right in the factors. So, without writing anything down, Miss Scott, this is an easy question. What number do you think would go in the thousandths place? Without writing anything down. A 5, why? We're not adding. I'm going to ask you why you select the answer you did. Yes, ma'am. Kelly.
0, because 5 times 4 is 20.
Awesome. This number here is going to be a 0, because when I rewrite this and multiply 385 times 24, 4 times 5 gives me 20, which is going to put a 0 in the thousandths place. See, look at all of this stuff. 12 and a half minutes worth of stuff that I know before I even solve this problem if I think a little bit. If I think a little bit. Brandon, you have a question?
No, that's good.
You're going to what?
I was going to tell you what the middle one is.
Okay, yeah, we're not there. We're not there. Thank you, though. So without doing any math, by just using our brains, some mental math, some thinking, we did all of this. So if you start asking yourselves questions as you're working through a problem, that's going to make your life so much easier.
Yes.
So much easier.
Yay.